Now let's take a quick look at how we can create those sort of roundish beveled corners in Plasticity. So to start off, one thing I would like to emphasize is that whenever facing a more complicated shape, it is often a good idea to try to find the smallest piece you can work on in isolation. Like rather than focusing on trying to construct the entire shape from a solid, I'm just focusing on one of those corners, not even those two in union, like just taking one, trying to read the curves that make up this sheet, right? So to start off, let's perhaps move those to the side and then we can start drawing a simple circle. Now I can hit Shift A in order to bring up our line tool, and then I can draw two lines dividing our circle into 4 equal parts. And then I can hit T on a keyboard to bring up the trim tool in order to remove those outer edges, and then we can also remove those corner pieces, finally leaving us with a single arch element. I can now hit Shift D to duplicate, hit G to move it slightly to see that our duplication has worked, and now I can hit Escape to snap it back into place. And now I can go and rotate it by 90 degrees. I can move it to the side or snap it using G, Y, and then hitting Control. But now you'll see that it is actually going to snap to the center of this curve. And now what we can do in Plasticity is use a custom pivot. So if I hit G and then I hit V, you can see that we can now start snapping our gizmo to certain points. And we are now going to snap it to the top vertex right here. And then we can hit GY and we can snap it to the final vertex. I'm going to move this one a bit further right here. And then I'm actually going to replicate the same step for this one, right? So Shift D, see that everything worked out. Rotate it by 90 degrees once, and then I'm going to rotate it by 90 degrees once more. Hitting G, bringing our pivot right here, snapping it on one axis, and then snapping it on the other one. And then once again, moving it to the left slightly. As of right now, we're already pretty close to our desired shape, so all there's left to do is go into vertex mode, hitting 1 on the keyboard, and then selecting those two vertices, hitting F to bring up our search menu, and then look for bridge. And we can then bridge those two vertices using G0 continuity. The shortcut would be Shift B to replicate it for this one and for this one. And then lastly, we can select all of our curves, hit J to join them, and then we can actually go and hit Shift J in order to patch a hole. And now, as you can see, we are left with the one small increment I was referring to in the beginning of this video. So this is one of the core elements which we can then use to duplicate and to derive the rest of our shape from. Going from here, we could, for example, mirror this one to the other side, hitting Shift J or J to join them. Then we could select our loop right here, hitting Shift J once again to loft everything. As you can see, we now have one sheet. Now, one trick I'd like to show you to round this one off is, as of right now, it's fairly difficult to bevel this one. So one very common trick is to use P in order to create a circular cut using the pipe tool. And then we can, perhaps we should try to do this on a cut piece first. So let's use those curves in order to, anyway, let's select this one, and now let's use L to loft with G1 continuity. And now you can see we do get a rather decent bevel. So let's join those sheets, and now we can mirror everything, join those things together. And now, as you can see, if we turn off our edges, we do have a pretty solid result. Anyway, feel free to experiment going from here. That's it for today's video. If you have any suggestions or questions, leave them down in the comments below. And if you found any of this helpful, don't hesitate to leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one.